Hello and welcome to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So we've just been speaking to Queen Galfrey at the Crusaders camp, and now we're going to explore in um, more detail, make sure we got any quests. We've spoken to everyone before we head out onto the map.
Let us be off.
So we got Leota, I think that's how they pronounce it. Commander, a tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you the brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title, and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leota Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Iomedae, the Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Darren Iomedae. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Iomedae in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps you'll explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose that you've already heard of Count Arundel's story. I refer to the tragedy at the Heaven's Edge estate. Tell me what happened at Heaven's Edge. About 10 years ago, several powerful demons managed to penetrate the Wallstone barrier and commit mass murder of all the guests who attended the feast in celebration of young Darren's birthday. The unknown magical disease they had brought wiped out the whole estate in less than a day. That was not a unique case in itself. The demons had attempted such raids on Mendavian lands before. They had never dared target such a well-protected place. The Arundel family were exceptionally rich. The estate was protected by elite bodyguards. There were several strong and righteous paladins among the guests. Moreover, the Reverend Nestrin, Darren's tutor, was one of the most powerful priests of Arundel in the vicinity. All of them died, nonetheless, except for the young Count, who had suddenly manifested his outstanding sacred healing powers. Was that a divine miracle or a curse? That remains to be seen. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev before the world wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabris for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off. When we got into the estate, how were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons have found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defences, why had this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family's seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, you will be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and a myriad loopholes in human lives that forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which one of these led demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid. The kind Crusaders face every the kind Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. You've already been to the estate several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I have paid dearly for that. Leota makes a vague gesture pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you search the estate yourself without involving me? The estate is abandoned and sealed with powerful containment enchantments that only the Count himself can lift. This is not the main reason, however. The main reason is that Count Arundel is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition, so I couldn't just break into the house even if I found a way to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter, Theatre frowns. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Arundel and my own organisation in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade and are still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more in addition to getting official permission. I'd also like to bring an independent third-party investigator to this case. Someone independent will be but well respected, and you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Darren himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. Leota pauses. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family wine cellar all by himself. There is no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Darren is hiding something, that he is to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arundel wasn't suffering from demonic possession. The most common malaise in this country at the time. Prelate Holren himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. Fine, I will help you. What do you need me to do? Leota bows his head to you with exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observe my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will remain here for a while. I don't need to discuss that again. Tell me more about yourself, Inquisitor. I want to know who I'm dealing with. I am Ulfrin. I'm Ulfrin by birth, but I have lived in Mendef for most of my life, dedicating myself to the service of the Inheritor. My warrior brethren mostly worship Gorum, but I have never been eager to fight for the sake of battle alone. I was a good fighter in my early youth and could easily best most of my peers, but I didn't enjoy showing off my skills. Victory is bland on its own. Purpose adds flavour to war. I can't say that I've always been a faithful sword of Arundel. Back in my mercenary days, fate brought me to the borders of Mendef, where I spent quite a long time among the Crusaders. Fighting shouldn't be shoulder to shoulder with my righteous comrades in arms, and watching demons commit their atrocities eventually led me to something I had been seeking my whole life: purpose and faith. That is how I found my calling. Even though it may be hard at times, I've never regretted my decision. Are you one of the Prelate Holren's followers? Leota's face freezes for a moment, but he nods. Yes, of course. What is your opinion on his atrocities? He's silent for a while. Usually people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor, not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years by Prelate Holren's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. The prelate is an extraordinary man, but he has fallen prey to his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility, which has gradually eroded his razor-sharp mind. He has witnessed so many hideous darknesses that he now sees it in every shadow. Yet his strength was and still is a shield for all the people of Mendef. That is my opinion. His comrades and advisors are necessary to prevent him from making unforgivable mistakes. Where were you during the attack on Cadaverous? I was on the hunt, a very successful one, but as often happens in life, the minor successes were a mere harbinger of a larger failure. If I hadn't been so far away from Cadaverous on the day of the attack, I might have been able to help my comrades and prevent a number of deaths. Thank you for your answer. I have to go. Okay. Let's have a look around here. Oh, no, I thought I picked everything up the first time. Was there... They get reseeded, or did I just miss it? We just missed it. Can't see anything else around here. Okay, let's go into the chapel tent. Altar of Torag. Okay, so these just some altars, and let's see what we can pick up. Yeah, there's nothing like
Follow
looting
me.
people's offerings to gods. So that put me on the good side. Right, okay, let's have glowing croissant. Okay, I'll copy that recipe. There's nothing else in
March
there
on.
that I can see. Oh, it's Sose. Soziel? Soziel?
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be of use to my army? Well, that's a bit harsh.
My name is Soziel Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What are you painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shaden. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple. Men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help, and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I will never forget that I owe them my life. Every minute of it, every breath that I take, is a gift they gave me. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort.
Okay, it sounds like a companion quest early on there.
I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
It was nice meeting you. Now I have to go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Okay, so we've done that one. Yeah, some more loot here. I must have... Can't believe I missed all of that. Okay, let's see if Darren's got anything to say. There you are. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see Arenday's estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, now that I'm in the middle of the whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darren seems to have trouble getting the words out, but which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my superior and I'm your advisor, I'm obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities. And I want to invite you too. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while soldiers are on leave. Let's continue this discussion after the battle for Dresden. If you want to celebrate your triumph, we have to make it happen first. Should I ask for Rasma to clear some space in her boneyard in preparation then? I jest, of course. Fine, I'll wait. So, if Heaven's Edge has been revealed, we've got some experience. People say you're deliberately trying to bring Galfrey's patience. Is that true? Does it even matter? All of Mendavian high society has declared war on me. They either despise me or they're trying to steer me back onto the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all the fun this mess in Canabris will bring. Darren grins from ear to ear. I shall either commission a song about the great Canabris fiasco from a certain talented bard, or confuse the jewellers with a rather tall order, a batch of silver dragon toys with detachable heads. Give me a week and they will be in every shop in the capital. The heroic dragon who died for our future deserves respect, not your mockery. She's dead, she doesn't really care, and I shall enjoy 3 or 4 minutes of rather pleasant thoughts about the rage of those sanctimonious fools who pestered me the most. So how do you like your new role, advisor? Darren winces. You also enjoy poking me with that stick, don't you? Imagine it, me, a crusader. If my dearest cousin hoped to teach me a lesson, she managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face. The idiotic journey leading straight into the demon's moors. I could have been on a pleasure boat right now, with the loveliest strong songstress in Pitax on my arm, and a bottle of the finest Chionian wine to keep us company. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hope that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Marmaday, then give me a smidgen of that power as a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine Lightbringer of Mendev even had a sense of humour. Don't get me started on my many acts of sacrilege against her. That obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the tamest one by far. Okay, I should go. Goodbye. Okay, that's him sorted for the moment. Right, let's go into the field medic tent. Just go in everywhere, loot it up, and no one says a word. That's Fawn. I don't think I've got anything to say to him. I congratulate you on your new rank, Commander. My hunt demanded that I travel with your army. Naturally, I wouldn't burden your forces with the need to care for an outsider. I've provided myself with all the necessities. I have to go. Good fortune to you. Okay, so he's still after that K Lesser. He came from the heart, didn't he? Yeah. We've already talked to him, so we know who he is. How did you end up on the battlefield? Everyone has a story like that, but mine is rather boring. Believe it or not, it was bureaucracy. When the old rector of the Canabris Temple died, my Abadar, rest his soul, the church required a replacement. I volunteered and served for 30 years without incident. I prayed, organised festivals and funerals, brought candles, sanctified water, boring mundane things that made up the daily routine of civilised society. But then civilised society failed, and it was my time to go to war, praised Abdar, who led me through the ruins to the defender's heart. Okay, so this is just going over the things we've already spoken about. I'm not going to look at his scrolls and stuff yet. I'm going to do all of my buying at the end of the episode. Once I've done my looting and spoken to everyone, then I can think about what to spend my money on. So I'll carry on looking around for the moment. Nothing there, nothing there. There's Sealer.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
I haven't figured it out yet. We'll see what happens next.
Watching and waiting is a good strategy. Probably. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself? You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
Okay. Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. See you. Okay. So it seems like they all have a little bit to say of the companions, but nothing too significant. Yeah, I've definitely looted around here before. It seems to be getting refilled. Okay, they're not to talk to at the moment. Okay.
Onwards.
What brings you here? What do you think of what happened in the Grey Garrison? Do you feel a change in yourself? It's hard not to notice when the demons start running away from you like a flock of frightened bats. Powers granted by Amadei to defeat demons. Lan raises his hand above his head and pensively scratches behind his single horn. Since I was a kid, I've taken whatever I've been given and used it as best as I can. Anything goes when you're trying to survive. It doesn't matter where your blessings come from. We can think about that when we're old, if we live that long. So this time, even I'm not so sure. A divine power that just appears out of nowhere. Sooner or later we'll have to pay for it. I'd like to know what the price will be. Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for your answers. So long. What else have we got around here? Oh, okay, Hillo's back. You've earned the title of Commander. Canabria still stands thanks to you, but you'll have to double it. You have to be doubly on your guard. Your eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-ranking Crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinner of Nightmares attempts on the lives of influential Crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. And we've already talked about the Spinner of Nightmares with him, so I'm not going to go through that again. Good luck, watch your back. Only trust your closest friends. The enemy is cunning and treacherous. Okay, yeah, so I don't want to repeat myself there. What we've got here. Nura's tent. Okay, well, let me rob her blinds before I speak to her. There you go. Loads of stuff there. Right. Knight Commander, how can I help? There is much I can do. Just ask. Nora looks at you with her eyes filled with enthusiasm. She's holding a notebook and a traveller's inkwell. You've probably heard about the wound I have, the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if this is some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed. I've been told of your affliction. She peers at the centre of your chest. Can you will the wound to open? No? That's a shame. What can you tell me about this wound? Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never healing cuts or poisons that stop wounds from healing. I've heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over. Perhaps you know of other cases like this. Let me think. In 4671, a Mendavian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. In 47,000, the scribe in Canabras had all her skin simply come away like she had been boiled. And in 4638, oh, don't happen to have any insects crawling over you? Locusts? No? Rats, perhaps? Too bad. She looks at you with genuine regret. Do you think it's dangerous? It most likely is dangerous, but you are under the protection of Iomade, Commander. She granted you mythic power, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it's triggered by doubt. Frowning, Nora looks at you with sincere concern. Thank you for your answers. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you anything useful. I will be sure to study this matter and consult a few of my encyclopedias. Tell me about yourself. Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things, and you choose the most boring one of all. But all right, about myself then. Where are you from? Iska, a small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all the centuries it existed. They have a lot of national pride, but all of it is borrowed, always looking to the great day when they can at last be free from the rule of Teliax. The Iskari love talking politics. If two of them started bargaining over beats at the market, you can be sure they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Iska would be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to, and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever, ever since I was little, so they sent me to a school instead of making me do grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I was sold to a secretary at the Lord Axilla Tresbot. He's the one that I left Iska with, never to return, I hope. How'd you come to serve Queen Galfrey? I was a slave of Lord Axilla Tresbot in Iska, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap. A true hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the Whirlwind, all of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to meet prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against the demon invasion. He took me along as a secretary, a historian, and most importantly, he entrusted me with recording his glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the Whirlwind alone. In his final battle with the demons, when the Lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat, so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said what he did was not heroic, just an arrogant moron, puffing himself up one last time. But I say, curse their tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and, I don't want to boast it, but... who am I kidding? Of course I do. The book sold in great numbers and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert in the history of the Whirlwind. I hope you'll find me useful as well. So you're not just a historian, but a writer too. Will you write a book about my crusade? Haha, why not? As soon as we've finished off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care you don't end up like Lord Tresbot. Do you worship any deity? She makes a wry face. When I was a slave in Iska, they would beat me with a stick to force me to believe in Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then, I don't like temples. I realise there are different gods like Desna or Caden who teach goodness and freedom, but it's just, as soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver's stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing from a blow for not being reverent enough. But for now, I let others pray for me. Her smile trembles and collapses. Nora sounds sincere, but you feel she's holding something back. Thank you for your answers. Tell me the history of the Whirlwind. Oh wow. Tell me about Old Sarkoris. It was an unforgiving country inhabited by numerous tribes of Kelid barbarians. Imagine Numeria but without the metal mountains, or the realm of mammoth lords, but with milder climate. At Sarkoris, the country was ruled by priests of forgotten deities and shamans. It's said that even back then, before the Whirlwind, the boundary between worlds was especially thin in this region. Since the ancient times, Discaria has had its claws sunk deep into the minds of the locals. His cults thrived here for many centuries. Aradon tried to stamp them out, but in the end, of course, he passed away. How did the Whirlwind come to be? It happened in the year Aradon died, 4606, a little over a century ago. No one knows if the time was coincidental or there was some connection with Aradon's death, but I tell you what we do know. The priests and shamans who ruled Sarkoris hated arcane magic, and all who practiced it, wizards and sorcerers, were driven from the land, or worse. One of their prisons held a witch named Arilu Vorlish. We know nothing about her besides her name, and of course the atrocity she committed. By some unknown method, she managed to harness the terrible power of the demon lord Discari. Together they tore open the barrier between worlds, opening a rift to the abyss in the very middle of Sarkoris. The whirlwind slowly but mercilessly expanded, devouring more and more land. In a matter of years, Sarkoris was a memory. After a moment of silence, Nora adds softly, "Sometimes I think, what did they do to Arilu in that prison? Just imagine she was ready to give herself to the abyss, if only the demons might devour her torturers along with her. To imagine such hatred, it terrifies me." Tell me about the First Crusade. It began in 4622. Yes, it took the church and the secular authorities nearly 2 decades and hundreds of thousands of lives before they decided to take action. In the meantime, Sarkoris was only supported by handfuls of volunteers. By the time the crusade began, the demons had already invaded Mendev. The Crusaders pushed them back in what must have seemed a total triumph at the time. The forces of good easily crushing the demons on all fronts. They erected Dresden on the land they conquered, an indestructible fortress and the capital of the Crusader movement. In 4630, 8 years after it began, the First Crusade was declared victorious. Tell me about the Second Crusade. In 4638, the whirlwind started suddenly expanding, and a new wave of demons appeared. The Crusaders were all but delighted. Last time they routed the forces of the Abyss, and they welcomed another chance to prove themselves. But this time, everything was different. Instead of scattering gangs, they faced a large and organised army. Dresden was besieged, and the Crusaders lost all the lands they won back before. They had to retreat, and all that remained of Sarkoris was left to the demons. But while the monsters were devouring the unprotected lands, the Crusaders erected a chain of ward stones along the border with the whirlwind. We have Iomedae and her herald to thank for her help. It was the Second Crusade's only victory, but it halted the wound's growth. The catastrophe had become a stalemate at the cost of tremendous sacrifice. Tell me about the Third Crusade. About 50 years after the opening of the Whirlwind, Discari found an ally. Baphomet entered the war, a cunning, insidious demon lord who prefers deception to open conquest. He set his enemies against each other and lures the virtuous onto the path of wickedness. Traitors appeared among the Crusaders, secret agents of his cult. For a time, no one suspected a thing, even as they watched helplessly as the Crusader movement fell to ruin. Where once valour proudly stood, now greed and dumb cruelty reigned, and outrage was drowned in apathy. In 4665, the Church announced a new crusade, hoping to boost morale. They didn't succeed, to put it mildly. Some fought the demons in earnest, and for a time they even dared to hope to retake Dresden. But the Third Crusade would be remembered as a witch hunt in every sense. Inquisitors hoped to purge any cultists from ranks of fighters, but instead they got a barrage of denunciations, widespread suspicion, and innocent victims. It sometimes happened that two orders would denounce each other as traitors and wipe each other out, much to the demons' delight. Just 3 years later, in 4668, the Church put the disgrace to an end. Of all the Crusades, that one was the least glorious. Tell me about the Fourth Crusade. Of course, the demons had no intention of sitting quietly caged behind the ward stones. They kept attacking Cannabis, trying to reach the stone and destroy it, or just scratch its surface, or if even that wasn't possible, befoul it. The Crusaders drove the demons away from the city again and again. The Fourth Crusade would last for 15 years, an exhausting study in positional warfare. The demons attacked and they were pushed back. The Crusaders went on the offensive but were forced to retreat. and all the while the losses were tremendous. The Fourth Crusade only achievement was that they didn't let a single wallstone fall. They didn't retake a sliver of land, to say nothing of Dresden. So many lives just to maintain a stalemate. You can imagine how that affected morale. Thank you for your answers. I have to go. If you have any questions, come back. Okay. What have we got around here? Oh yes, Irabeth. Commander, allow me to say something. Irabeth looked even more serious than usual. Before you, this wasn't a war, it was agony, drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but somehow I got through on stubbornness and vague hope that if nobody found Anavia's body, she might be, by some miracle, had survived, and the miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I felt the day when I saw Nevia alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who finally put an end to the terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what others could not. Found a scabbard with your family name on it in the Grey Garrison. Irabeth looks down. This scabbard held the solemn hour, my family sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Nevia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help his family. I hoped to redeem the solemn hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. Is Nevia sick? You'll forgive me if I don't go into detail. It's a private matter. Suffice it to say, everything is fine now. Treatment was costly, but it was worth it. I can see that you truly love her. A delicate blush appears on Irabeth's cheek. She nods silently. Irabeth lovingly traces the name imprinted in silver on the scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it is worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see the solemn hour again, but at least I have its scabbard back. Thank you. So it turns out that our queen has the head of counterintelligence watching me. I wonder why. You think the Queen doesn't trust you? If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of this army. My main task is to be your advisor until you've gained enough experience as a commander. As for counterintelligence, Navia and I were tasked with keeping an eye on your inner circle, but you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. We need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? Irabeth frowns. When we began the march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could pay mages to deliver the troops to camp, except I doubt our army coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 gold coins, I will see to our reinforcements. Now, you have my orders. I'll pay up. Always want more troops? Consider it done. It's hard to believe your origin is so humble. You deserve a noble title more than many who inherit them. Irabeth's cheeks blush a little. Thank you, Commander. It's an honour to hear that, especially from you. Every noble family begins somewhere. You must have heard the recent story about the stolen lands in the River Kingdoms. Just imagine coming from nowhere and making it all the way to a royal crown in just a few years. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I managed to distinguish myself somehow, but then I push away such unworthy, selfish thoughts, of course. We don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake, and yet... Her blush deepens and she falls silent. I have to go. Irabeth says goodbye with a short bow. Okay, that's that silly golem thing that changes the look of your armour. Not interested in that. Speak to Ember. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? The girl tilts her head. What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big grey house blew up. They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wondering eyes on you, smiles and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind this title. Okay, I have to go. So go. The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave. Okay, right, let's have a little look in this tent. Right, time to rob Irabeth. The massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury during marches. Okay. What's up here? Yeah, it's definitely. I didn't miss all that before. You must have reseeded it. Right, Albrig. So you're the war chief now. You're going to lead us to free Sarkoris from those Fae. Albrig nods his head with respect. I felt it the moment I saw you. This one is special. But that you'd go and get yourself a whole army in no time, that I did not expect. Well, how does your newfound power feel? Has it gone to your head yet? It's an odd feeling. So many people are counting on me. I can't let them down. Yes, it's a scary thing to be responsible for others, especially when you're not out picking mushrooms. You're taking them to war. Even if you win, some of them surely won't make it back home, and you're the one who has to bear the burden. Albrig runs his hand over his beard and shakes his head in thought. But I know that you'll do just fine, and not because I've seen you in battle, although you are worth a whole band of warriors in a fight. I know you'll make a fine war chief because you're not thinking about power or honours. You're concerned about the people in your charge. As long as you hold on to that, you have nothing to fear. Well, I didn't come here just to flap my gums. Since I'm going to war and you're in charge, I better do this the right way. He lowers his head and says solemnly, My blade and my life are yours, war chief. I mean, it's not like I need a blade. My talons and beak will do the trick. But saying it like that is the done thing. My talons and beak are yours, just doesn't have the same ring to it. There's something else. I can already see things are bad, but there are tales of all of Sakaris burning down and its people dying out. I'm sorry, I don't believe those. It can't be true. We're not the kind of folks to be snuffed out like that. I have kin in a village not far from here. Current Glen. Let's go there and talk to them. Have them fill us in. They're smart folks. Perhaps they'll help us in battle too. Together we'll clean up Sarkoris before you can say, Haroint ye, foul creatures. Albrig bumps his fist into his palm with a chuckle of bravado. All right, I'll go prepare for the road ahead. Take care, Wolf Chief. Okay, that's another companion quest.
Let us be
Okay,
off.
so we've gone all the way around there. Is that everywhere apart from the centre now? I think. Spoke to them. Ah, Camellia. Greetings. The neat smile on Camelia's lips disappears so quickly you almost wonder if you imagined it. So you're Haldus's daughter. You've discovered my most terrible secret. Father cares so much about the Grenfant name that he raised me in our mansion, hiding me away from the whole world. I'll always be grateful to my father for everything he's done for me, even if Mendev society disapproves of some of his decisions. Would it be insolent of me to beg for your discretion regarding what you know about us? Camelia's words are polite, but her tone grows cold and sharp. Let us keep this our little secret. I assure you, my father and I appreciate loyalty and decency. For both myself and my father, I thank you for your understanding. I found a number of interesting implements and accessories in the Gwyrm mansion. How kind of you to share that you've gone through the Gwyrm's dirty laundry and drawn some bizarre conclusions. If you value my company, please refrain from making such insinuations in the future. Ooh, touchy. What do you think of the powers you received from me? Camellia shrugs nonchalantly. People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. I have to go, we'll talk later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camelia's face freezes and quickly dies away. Interesting lady. August Worm has been expecting you, thumb stuck in his belt. There you are, I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing the sword, but war is costly and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful, even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe, August shifts awkwardly from foot to foot, I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You are an honest and honourable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander, and you are friends with Queen Galfrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. August tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you a magic amulet from my humble personal treasury to mark our future cooperation. Amulet of Blackened Mirror. So I don't need to hear his story again. What's it like to live your life under someone else's name? When I was a boy, I used to hate August, the dissension most of all, the pity on his face, his smile when he called to join in his games. The difference in our birthright wasn't fair. Oh, we've done this before. Okay, read all that. Aren't you afraid I'll reveal your secret to everyone? Are you threatening me? I've invested a lot of money in your crusade, and I will invest even more. And yet you think to humiliate me in front of everyone? That's not going to work. If a scandal breaks out, it'll be your word against mine. And I've been known as Horus Gwen for several decades. I own a vast estate outside Canabras and a share of the local quarry. I will defend my good name to the end. Your claims will seem like vile slander. I'll see to that. His face becomes blotchy and his eyes nearly pop out of his sockets. He calms himself with visible effort. However, I do hope it won't come to any of that. We're all here for a common cause, victory over the demons, and I intend to see this business through. Why have you decided to support the Crusades now? With all due respect, that's none of your business. I have my reasons. Perhaps I felt a rush of patriotism when Canabris was destroyed. Anyway, why would you think I'd never support the Crusades? Perhaps I simply don't like to brag about my donations. Ostentatious charity only attracts beggars. I'll wager that Irabeth has no idea whose money she's spending on drinks and supplies. Why do you hide the fact that Camellia is your daughter? Didn't I tell you this at the mansion? You did. It's because her mother, Iris, was a lowly half-elf who looked after my garden. I always wanted to join the Gwern mansion with another noble family. The Gwern legacy must not be mixed with common blood and vanish into obscurity. Iris didn't mind. We managed to hide our relationship. When Camellia was born, I did not claim her as my own. To all of Mendef, Camellia is the daughter of a lowly servant who died over a decade ago. And before you start telling me what a terrible father I am, we've gone through all this as well, haven't we? So there's a lot of repetition in some of this. What can you tell me about Count Darren's Arundel? The nobles of Canabris should be acquainted with each other, shouldn't they? He's a brilliant young man with a brilliant pedigree, and that story of his, the nobility is the glue that keeps our society together. I suppose that is why demons so often choose their estates as primary targets. Who would notice the demons' bloody massacre if it only slaughtered poor country folk? The Arundel family shared the tragic plight of the Gwyrms, along with many other members of the nobility. They fell victim to a treacherous attack during the major celebration taking place at their family estate. I hadn't received an invitation and was slightly insulted by the snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The god saved me from a terrible fate. All the guests died that day from a magical demonic disease. I sympathise with the Count deeply. He has endured so much, and it's no wonder he keeps himself aloof from me. I think this is due to the fact that Horgusgrim's fate so resembles his own, and we both have to relive the horrible memories whenever we see each other. I have to go. So again, a number of a fair amount of repetition there. Wooljiff gives you a friendly wave. Hey, Chief, want to talk? What do you think of your new powers? You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you to a Pytax underground arena to fight. Give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story. Enemies burn down your house, you avenging your dead family. Public eats that stuff up. You wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit, or a black one if you like black better. Or split the prize money 60-40. 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights is easy. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more risk than you, and after we get set up in Pytax, we'll tour different cities, making some real money. What? You don't like the sound of it? Do you have any other suggestions? I've got more. Have you heard of Rasmuren? It's some land in the River Kingdoms ruled by the King of Rasmir. A friend of mine used to live in Rasmuren. He got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, the King Rasmir of theirs is a god. He keeps his people under his heal. They're all terrified of what he might do. He sits on a throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister of his old man, on his old man's side, who's a cook in the castle, and a washerwoman who and a washerwoman who the cook plays cards with in the evenings told her a juicy rumour. Word is, Razmir isn't a real god at all, and he's got no powers. So here's my point. You do have powers, pretty scary ones too. We'll find some shabby little kingdom. I'll start some rumours, show off a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. Just we'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put it in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on the nod. I've been there before. People promise you mountains of gold, and when it comes to it, they're all get lost, and I'll set the dogs on you. So, do you like the idea? It's an interesting idea, but I need to think about it. I mean, I'm not thinking about it, but I just don't want to upset him. It's your thing. Just think about it. Just call me if you need me. We'll discuss it. I have to go. Let's talk later. Whatever. You're free to do as you please. Okay. Mysterious elf. Damn it, you a soldier. Oh, okay. The bearded quartermaster gives you a friendly nod. What can I do for you? I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not a part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. She was looking for some elf volunteer, wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first, I thought she was a messenger from Mendo, but she definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with a concern. She was some sort of spy then? Show me what you have. Okay, so this is all the stuff that we're going to look at buying in a minute. Or potentially buying in a minute. Let's just see. I've just got one more person to speak to, the blacksmith. Okay, so he's also got stuff to sell. Right, okay. So all of his stuff is pretty bog standard. So I'm going to do my selling to him. That way it doesn't get mixed up with the things I might potentially want to buy. So if yes, let's just go for and flog off the stuff I don't need. I'm going to hold on to that for the moment because I haven't checked. I haven't checked what my other companions want, so I'm going to keep a couple of bits back just in case they're of use. No one uses them. Wooljiff might use the dagger. Lots of... Let's get rid of all the obvious stuff first. Oh, what's this one? Right, okay, that definitely could be used. Possibly someone might want the light barding. Trying to remember what pets we've got, or well, we might get later, so I'm going to hold on to that. Okay, don't think that's better than what. It's not better than what he's wearing, is it? No. So get rid of that. That's not better either. We'll get rid of that one, and get rid of that as well. So we got whenever the wearer of this amulet uses a hex, the DC of the saving throw against it increases by 1. Okay, that's worth having. Weapon finesse feat. Okay, the only person who's got weapons finesse feat that I'm aware of is Melian. She's got that fixed amulet already, so might not be able to use it. But I'm going to check Ulbrich in a bit and see if he can wear it. No, it's going to be all kinds of stuff I want to get rid of here. I'm basically just going to keep stuff for buffing and communal spells, really. Because I'm not going to do individual stuff very often, if I ever remember. and the damage stuff. I mean, the DC's so low, they're never going to hit. I guess maybe Nenio, when she gets a bit higher, might be able to put them to use, because she's got that special thing at level 10, I think it is. Where it uses her level rather than the level of the scroll, but I'll have more by then, I reckon. Level 1, it's gonna be it's not gonna land, is it? Communal, so might be able to use that one. Okay, well, that's trimmed it down a bit there. Bulk selling. I'm going to keep one bottle of something just because you never know when you might need a drink. Okay, dear. Right, so that gives me a stack of money to use. Let me just check. I think. Okay, so that's better than what he's got. So give a dagger for him. Better than that one. Keep toying with the idea of Sealer using that, so I'm going to hold on to it, but I can get rid of the other two. That's definitely worth looking at Sealer for. Oh! Oh, have I sold her? Oh, you idiot. I hadn't fitted her gear back on. I've just sold her shield. How did I manage to do that? What an absolute imbecile. So I'm going to have to buy a shield. Oh yeah, sorry, and then there's that. Seems to make sense because Camellia can't use it. The only other one that does hexes is Ember, so it makes sense to give her that. Increases her DC on saving throws for hexes by 1. Anything's a bonus. Right, okay, so now I need to buy another shield. Just out of interest, how much is it to buy it back here? What shield was she wearing? Using, sorry. Okay, so there's only a basic one by the look of it. So if I can't find it any better, it looks like 2 AC. I can buy it back for 20. I'm just going to buy it back now anyway, and then yeah, I'm not going to lose much on it, am I? That was really stupid of me, but thankfully it wasn't an expensive one. Makes a difference to her AC. I want to keep that. And now she's got that. Enhancement to Constitution. Okay, fine. I feel like I'm in a bit of a better situation now. Right, let's go around and see what people actually have. And try and work out what it is. Your supply would do a wine shop proud. Does the crusade really need this much alcohol? Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among our crusaders. It's all in good fun, a way to blow off some steam. When soldiers can gather by the fire and raise a cup to honour both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. But those who drink to excess or to the detriment of their duties won't get a drop from me. There's no sight more depressing than a drunkard. Okay, fair enough. Show me what you have. Let's see what we have. See if I get some ideas on what I want to buy. I don't have enough for this one, but enhancement +3. Oh, that's a nice looking sword, that. Okay, but I can't afford it. Don't use those, don't use those, don't use those. Don't use any of those. Let's go into sorted by this. Okay, so price in descending order. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything I'm gonna. I mean, that looks. If I use them, that would be quite good. But I haven't got anyone who's using falcons. Okay, we've got here. Full plate. It's not a big enough jump on what character's already got. Nothing there. Races of rough landing. 2 competence against flying enemies. Okay, it's a bit situational. I prefer things that work against everyone, if possible. Don't have a knight. Jousting. Ring of protection +2. 8,000 for that. It's quite a lot, but I might come back for that. But that's it. Is that all of? It's quite rubbish, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So not overly impressed with the offering there. Let's see what Waldriff's got to offer. See what your thiefling connections have. Right, let's go through it again. So, so we've got a faux shard, which is currently better than Finian. So I could take that and then use Finian somewhere else. I mean, yeah, it's a solid improvement, but it doesn't have Ghost Touch or Cold Iron. I think the Cold Iron will come from the medallion anyway. Yeah, it's the Ghost Touch bit that might be a bit of a loss, and it's 20,000, so it's a big commitment now. If I've got money to spare, then I'll do that. It's a monk weapon, no. So nothing else is jumping out at me there. Veteran's armor, 2 padded armor grants 10 resistance against fire and electricity. Yeah, okay. Not for 40,000. Robe of inevitability. The robe grants the wearer a +2 bonus to spell penetration. Hell yes. I mean that's got to be of use, hasn't it? So just gonna buy it. That someone is gonna make use of that. All basic resistance there. None of those are worth me getting. Anything? Oh, lots of wands and things. I'm sure these are good, but until I know what I'm buying, I'm not going to commit any money to them yet because I just don't like. I think with wands, if I'm reading it right, yeah, 50 charges, and then they're gone. So it's like it's throwaway. I mean, 50 lots of heroism is quite good, obviously, and wand of haste, 17 charges. But it's throwaway. I don't. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that for now. And that's it. So, okay, we'll get that one purchase there. Alright, and then let's go around and have a look at... Sorry, I picked that up before. Weird. I'm not complaining, it's free stuff, but... Right, let's go and see what we've got in here. Show me what you're selling. Pricing, descending order. Right, so nothing there, nothing there. If this ring has the ability to cast spontaneously, it grants him the ability to cast the following spells: Fireball, Control Fireball, Fire Snake, Hellfire Ray, Firestorm, and Fiery Body. Wow, that is good. Okay, so I need a spontaneous caster that I'm going to be using regularly in my party. So I mean, Darren obviously seems the obvious choice for that one. 35,000. So that's almost everything I've got. So maybe not yet. Belt uses a scroll or potion that gives it an extra caster level. Situational. I know. I mean, useful, but who would I give it to? Yeah, maybe her if I start using Denio. Right, I'm not at the moment, so arachnid goggles can't be flanked. Yeah, 15,000 for that seems too much. Poker resistance +2 and 5 reduction against all swarm attacks. Okay, so yeah, it's better than just a basic poker resistance, but 14,000 seems quite heavy. Put that on the maybe list. Don't care about those sort of things. The skirt of overlapping brightly coloured silk is magically reinforced, granting the increased durability and mobility. It grants the wearer +2 natural armor bonus to AC and to mobility checks. Okay, so that's free AC, I'm guessing, which I could definitely see putting that on Seela, because I want to get her AC as high as possible. So that's a definite. I'm definitely considering that one. Let's put it in there just for now so I don't forget. +2 enhancement to intelligence score and immunity to compulsion, however, minus to charisma. See, I don't really like spending money on things that have negative effects. Poker resistance +3, that's definitely useful. It's better than anything I've got. So we'll be using that for a long time because everyone could use it. So, and then yeah, +2s, not really worth it. You can get +4 or +6 from the boosted spells, and that will just get wiped out. Okay, so that will do for there. I'm not going to up those just yet. Stick with what I've got. I've got the +3 scroll scribe, haven't I? Yeah. No, I haven't. No, what have I got? I've got the 1. Ugh. Okay, I will update that to. How high do I want to go? Go to 3 for the moment, and then I'll up it to 5 or 6 later when I've got more money. I'll get rid of that one then. Okay, that's all right. Oh, wow. Okay, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Some pearls of power, which I'll look at later when I've got more money. Coin of protection. Once per day? For 1 minute? Yeah, seems a waste of money, that does. Resurrection. Raise the dead. Well, that's that's always going to be useful. Have I got any of those? No, just restoration. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna again when I've got a bit more money to spare, I'm gonna be looking at that. We've got some meta magic rods that we can look at. I've got a bit more money. All the basics, scrolls, loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of them. I'm gonna take the cure light wounds because they're always going to be useful. And I think I worked out that they're best value for money. Okay, got all of that. How are we doing on the still 21? I'll do. Oops, not 99. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to up it to 25. I'm sure that'll be enough for the moment. Got diamond dust and stuff. I haven't been missing any of that yet. Okay, so I think that's everything for now. I'm going to take those and I'll head back out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to assign the stuff that I've just bought, and then I'm going to upgrade the lesser companions. So I'm going to do that at the end of this episode. So if you're not interested in what I do with my companions I'm not going to use so often, you can just ignore it. Skip to the next episode if you want. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. So you're welcome to drop off now if you're not interested, or if you are, you can listen to my ramblings as I upgrade these. I'm going to give that to him because I feel like he's going to make the most use of spell penetration for the moment. I'm going to give Sealer that because that's more AC, and more AC is good. Her touch AC is terrible, but her actual other AC is good. I'm going to make her, because she's my main one, she's going to get the +3 resistances as well. So her will and fortitude, yeah, they're all up quite nicely now. I'm going to give Darren my... What was that? Oh, I didn't buy it, did I? I'm going to buy it later for him, aren't I? I haven't got enough money for him yet. But I'm going to give him that. Just because, yeah, he needs something. Okay, so I feel like that's as boosted as I'm going to get them. So let's just do these people quickly. So I know nothing about shifters, so I'm just going to keep him as a straight shifter for the time being. I'm only going to use him for his companion quests anyway, so I can't really do too much damage to him, hopefully. I mean, Master Shapeshifter, surely he's a shifter, so it gives him plus, when he polymorphs, which will be all the time, I guess, he gets an additional +4 to his ability scores, all the physical ability scores. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick with that. Seems to be a sensible choice for him. Nenio, right. Just going to drag up my notes for her. Not that there's too much to do here, so let's boost her. Do I need nature? Who's one? Who lands my nature one? Isn't this? I don't need to waste it on that, do I? I guess I could boost her perception up. Okay. Right, and I've got to pick a couple of level 3 spells for her. So I've got haste and displacement already. I'll add slow to the mix and let's do fireball. She needs some kind of attacking option, doesn't she? Yeah, that's fine. Take those. She can say she's got the ability to scribe stuff, so if I get the wrong choice here, I can always just buy the spell and scribe it for her. Not that I'm saying I won't be using her a lot anyway at the moment. And I'm going to give her abundant casting because, yeah, that's her main limitation. Is how many spells that she can actually use. Right, Ember. Do you like Ember? I just don't know how I'm gonna fit her in. Well, we'll see. So religion's her one. Her persuasion's pretty high, but so is Darren. But I guess if she's going to come in, she'll probably swap with him. So I'm going to keep that going. And up the use magic device. So time for a hex. So I'm going to choose protective luck. That's a useful one. And then I've got to pick a couple of. So well, no, pick a one. I mean, I'm going to give her heroism because I just +2 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks is just and 10 minutes per level. So it's like for an hour she's casting that for. Again, I feel like I need as much attack boost as possible on my characters for some of these high AC enemies. So I'm going to take that. Right, on this one, because she does mostly fire damage, I'm thinking of going for Ascendant Element Fire. Because she's one energy type, which I've done. The damage of the energy type you deal can no longer be prevented or reduced by energy resistances or energy immunities. This bonus works on any damage deal. So I think it means the spell was spell resistance still affects things, and there are other saves, but they can no longer be. I think it just bypasses any sort of fire resistance or fire immunities. So that, as she's mainly doing fire damage, that just seems like really powerful for her. So I'm going to take that. Warjiff. I'm doing him up here, aren't I? Again, not really going to use him much, I don't think, but just in case. I've got Feral Mutagen as the choice here. Gives him an extra attack, I think, is what it does. Yeah, 4 attacks by attack. So just adds to his damage. And then, I don't know, Fire Belly. Okay, and his one, I'm going to pick Unrelenting Assault. Again, he's a damage dealer. Want his damage to go up and up every time he uses it. Makes sense to me. We'll do that. And is that everybody? That is everybody. Okay. So, just have to go through the spell book now, I'm afraid. What's they say? There's lots of prayer. Option to spell magic. The will save or get -2 penalty. Creatures get -2 on attack rolls. Saving throws and to armor class. I'm going to throw one of those in. Okay, fine. I think 3 lots of lesser seems a bit excessive for him. Got protection from evil communal. Okay. What else have we got here? I've already got that little thing we got from the storyteller. Gives me good aligned, I think, so I don't need to do a line weapon. What else could he use? I guess so. Do a moderate wounds. Really, you could do some Eagle Splendor, Darren some more charisma, maybe. I don't know. It's tricky. Oh, remove paralysis. Definitely going to have that. In case they get paralysed, that feels very useful. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to say he's not my main one. I shouldn't spend too much time focusing on him. I'm just going to use him occasionally for the moment. He's got none. Right, he's got loads of choice now. So let's start with... I'll put an extra mage armor. Lots of magic missiles, and I'll throw in an extra snowball. Okay. Interesting. I need to get her the grease spell. Because if I'm going to swap her in, I'm probably going to swap out my brown fur. Brown fur guy. And if I haven't got the selective grease, that's really going to hurt me. But I didn't give her selective options, though, did I? Don't think I did. Sorry. No, I gave her penetration. Okay, so... Okay, that could prove interesting. We have to go out, all out. Attack with her then, aren't I? Yeah, her level 2 choices are pretty rubbish. She doesn't have enchantment boosts, but she does have the spell penetration. I'll chuck a couple of those in. Maybe he'll do something. I don't like the pit spells very much. Also don't find them very useful. So because the mirror image is just for her, so probably 2's enough. Let's just chuck a load of blurs in then. Make people harder to hit. Make up for the fact that we're not sliding around on the ground instead. Yep, okay, I'm fine with that. Ember has no choices to make. She's just got that. I'm giving her a... No, haven't, so keep that as it is. Jeff can just have... I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Done him. Obviously he's got his choices. He's not very attacking at them. He's got no attacking options until I give him that ring. So I need to get some money to get him that ring. He doesn't have many choices yet. I really don't. The selection is small on this character, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Done her, haven't we? Yep. So we're all good. That's everybody ready now. I'm going to go and have a rest so people can get there. So do I need a rest? Well, maybe I don't. Everyone's got all of their spells, haven't they? Yeah, I don't need a rest, and ones I'm not using, I'm sure I'll rest while I'm out on the map, and then they'll get them. So I think that is me ready to go. And this is another relatively long episode, so I'm going to stop there. Gone through everything. Just review the. Yeah, we've got a number of new quests to do. A few that have to be done before the next stage, which are Master Zacharias' cemetery, something to do with Band of Cultists, the band that make it to Dresden, and Tilly Creek. And the rest can be done as and when at the moment, it seems to be. So I'm ready to go. Thank you for bearing with me. And hopefully we'll get to some actual fights in the next episode. So I hope to see you next time.